Welcome to Just English Masterclass. We're going to tackle a challenge that so many advanced professionals run into. Your English is technically correct, but it just doesn't have the impact you want. Today, we're going to transform that bland, correct English into something that sounds confident, clear, and truly executive.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out exactly why we sound bland. Then, we'll get into two huge concepts, register and empathy. After that, I'll give you 4 high-impact language moves you can literally use tomorrow. We'll do a little practice session, and then we'll wrap up with the key takeaway. Sound good? Let's go!
All right, first up, Section 1, the problem of blandness. This is all about why our grammatically perfect English can sometimes just fall completely flat and not make the impression we know we deserve. It's a really frustrating feeling, isn't it? You know your grammar is on point, your vocabulary is solid, so why does your message sometimes feel, well, kind of weak? Why do we sound bland?
Well, it usually boils down to 3 main culprits. First off, we lean on these safe, super generic phrases. Second, we just state facts without really signaling what we want to happen. And third, and this is a big one, we try so hard to sound professional that we strip out all the human emotion. And what's the result? Communication that's correct, sure, but also completely forgettable.
So here's the absolute crucial point. A lot of us think we're just being polite when we're being bland, but that's a total misunderstanding. Blandness does not equal politeness. It equals low impact. And in the professional world, low impact means you're just not being heard.
Okay, let's move on to Section 2 and start building our solution. We're talking about mastering your professional register, and I absolutely love this subtitle, your professional volume control. It is the perfect way to think about this.
So what in the world is register? Think of it as the level of formality and directness you strategically choose. It's way more than just using please and thank you. It's about adapting your language to the specific person you're talking to, the situation you're in, and what's actually at stake. If you get it wrong, you might sound way too casual and lose credibility, or you might sound too formal and just create distance. The goal is that sweet spot, calm, natural authority.
So how do you get it right? Well, before you speak or write, just run through this super quick checklist. Ask yourself, who am I talking to? What's the channel? Is this an email, a Slack message, a meeting? How high are the stakes here? And what's the tone I actually want to project? Just answering these 4 questions sets you up for success.
All right, on to our second core concept in Section 3, empathy as a strategy. Now, this is so important. We are not talking about being soft or overly emotional here. No way. We're talking about using empathy as a powerful tool for strategic clarity and respect.
And here's a simple, really powerful way to do it. The acknowledge, align, act formula. It's easy. First, acknowledge the other person's reality, their pressures, their busy schedule. Second, align on the shared goal that you both have. And third, act by proposing a clear, actionable next step. It's a framework that shows respect while making sure you still get what you need.
Let's see this thing in action. So the bland version, we need the report by Friday, is just a command. It's got 0 impact. But now, look at the right side. It starts by acknowledging their workload, then it aligns on the shared goal, staying on track for the client, and then it makes the request. It's the same requirement, but it demonstrates so much more leadership.
Okay, we've covered the big ideas. Now for the really fun part in Section 4, 4 high-impact language moves. These are specific, actionable tools you can literally start using today to instantly add some warmth and authority to how you communicate.
So instead of a blunt demand like, send me the file, a true executive approach adds a simple human opener. And notice how the verbs change. Fix this becomes the much more collaborative, let's address this. See, this isn't about being weak, it's about being collaborative and showing confidence. And here are 2 more really powerful moves. Instead of a robotic and kind of harsh, this is wrong, a simple softener like, just to clarify, helps your point land so much better. And what's even more effective is stating your intention, explaining why you need something. Like, my intention here is to keep things moving. It builds immediate trust and gives people the context they need.
Okay, so let's put this all together. Section 5 is our mini practice session. We're going to take a few common, bland phrases and upgrade them to an executive level using all the tools we've just learned. Let's start with, I need this today. It's direct, yeah, but it feels demanding and it's missing context. Now, the executive upgrade is a huge improvement. It kicks off with a diplomatic softener, if possible, and frames the request as a question. Then it gives the why.
It would really help us keep the timeline on track. This mix is respectful, clear, and totally professional.
How about this one? We've all been tempted to write it. You did not answer my email. It just sounds like an accusation, right? The upgrade is beautiful. It starts with a gentle check-in, it acknowledges their reality, I know your inbox is busy, and then it makes a polite, actionable request. It completely changes the tone from aggressive to collaborative.
And for our final practice round, this is wrong. It's so blunt, it just shuts down the conversation. But the executive version, it frames it as an observation. I noticed a few points, and then it actually proposes a collaborative solution. Would you like me to highlight them so we can align? It shifts the entire dynamic from conflict to problem solving. It's calm, respectful, and incredibly precise.
And that brings us to our final section, your key takeaway. After all this, what's the standard we should really be aiming for? Let's define the executive standard.
And remember, the goal is not some vague politeness, because that just leads us right back to being bland. The real executive standard is a powerful combo of three things: clarity, so your message is impossible to misunderstand; warmth, so your tone is human and respectful; and specificity, so your request is crystal clear and actionable.
So in the end, it all comes down to this. When you combine the strategic choice of register with the smart use of empathy, you create presence. And that is what makes your English sound not just correct, but truly influential. Master this, and you won't just be speaking English, you'll be leading in it. See you in the next masterclass.